with Theresa Mariani. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hey, great. Yeah, it's Friday. It's a long weekend. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Excellent. So why don't we get started by just sharing a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Okay, I started dog training about 12 years ago, and so I've been doing that for a while. I guess in terms of why I do it, I essentially got into this almost by accident, but I ended up being, really good at it. So
Yeah.
I have a great rapport with the parents and a great rapport with the dogs. I'm able to click with them, and essentially what my main mission is to help people have the types of dogs that they want. Not everyone wants a strict obedience dog that, doesn't make mistakes. And so teaching them how to deal with that and teaching them how to deal with distractions. So whenever something unusual comes up, how the dog will still follow your directions within limits. So.
No, that sounds great. That's excellent. And I'm a huge dog person. So we have a retriever. It's the best dog in the world. I've had many dogs, and I don't know what life would be without them. I really don't.
Right, exactly. Yeah, they give so much to our families, and I think sometimes we forget until, we don't realize it until they're gone, how much of an impact they actually have on us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And yeah. So I don't want to talk too much about myself, but yeah, okay. I agree with you 100%. So usually, when people go into business, and like you said, you came into it on accident, they obviously grew up with something. Like it came from something that they were born with, and they just kind of carried it forward into something that, became a profession. Can you kind of share with us, how that worked with you?
Yeah, I've always been into animals, and dogs were not my big forte when I was little. I was actually a cat person.
Oh, really? Well, I don't know how that works. Go from a cat person to a dog person.
Yeah, but like I said, I started out by accident. I needed a job, and so I got a job at a local store that needed a trainer, and I've been teaching. I teach at the collegiate level. I've been doing that for 20 some years, and so I just needed something extra, and I started that, and I just developed a great rapport. I'm a sociologist by trade, and what I noticed is that the training was essentially using sociology and putting it to life. Social relationships, what your relationship is with your dogs. And you really can't do that with cats, so it really wasn't quite. I've become a dog person. Yeah, I don't enjoy the cats anymore. It's all about dogs. I had 6 dogs at one point. I had 5 huskies and a Shih Tzu. And I, in part chose those dogs because people said they couldn't be trained and that they couldn't live with cats. I do have a couple of cats as well, but they said they couldn't be trained and live with cats. And I wanted to prove that they could. It's all based on environment, all based on teaching them, the rules of the home, and at the same time also just displaying as much love as you possibly can to them. Right. And so essentially, like I said, I've always been an animal person, and so this kind of just fell into place. And so I figured it doesn't make any sense with me being an educator to not try to disseminate that to other people. And so as much as I can, that's what I'm trying to do.
That's excellent. It gets me so excited when people see, because you put your two careers, your career and your passion together, and now you're doing something to really, impact people, which is cool.
Absolutely.
That's exciting. And I get to meet people like this every day, and it's cool. Yeah. And, to your point, dogs add so much to a family's, home, the relationships that you have. There's so much value to having a pet, but I think people get so caught up in the fact that they shed and they're dirty and all the stuff that they bring in. But, if you really took a step back, they add so much value to your life. We went, so my wife grew up with a golden retriever, didn't pay much attention to it as a kid. It was just a dog, right?
Right.
They can understand dogs are a pain in the butt and whatnot. So I grew up with dogs my whole life, and it took years to get a dog in our house. It took 2 years to get a dog in our house. This dog is the best dog in the world because of the love that we give it, and I've never seen such a dog before, and I'm sure what you do is very similar, to help bring that out and help the families, kind of take that and run with it, right? I mean,
right. And, with having that background that I do, and I've done counseling before and all of that, I actually use family systems theory when I do my training. So I actually incorporate different theories into the actual training method. So my training is not just based on what everybody says you should do. It's based on, the things that are going to work for that family. And that's the thing that has set me apart is, working with that family and what's going to work for that family system, in addition to taking into consideration the dogs, because not all dogs learn the same way, just like not all people learn the same way. So, it's actually, it's been very enjoyable. I thoroughly love what I do.
Yeah, it sounds like it's fun too, right? Yeah. So, I'm sure you have a lot of experiences where you take, you get a situation where a dog may be untamed, out of control or whatever, and you help develop the dog or the puppy or whatever. What gets you most excited about those experiences?
I think when you make that breakthrough with not just the dog, but also the family, when they come to realize that, a dog is a dog, but I need to treat it in a particular way. I need to treat it, I don't want to say like a child, because people say you shouldn't do that. But essentially, what we do know is that a dog's intelligence level most dogs never reach above a 3-year-old's. And what many parents do is they treat their dogs as if they should be able to problem solve and rationalize and all of that. And they're not quite at that point yet for many dogs. Now, if you have a border collie or something along those lines, then you can do a little more problem-solving type things with them. But for most dogs, it's just, basically living forever with a 3-year-old. And so you have to have that kind of mindset to be able to work your way through what needs to be done. So,
right. And so that, that's why we do well, because it's like, we have the dog and then we have me and we have my boys, it's like living with a bunch of 3-year-olds. So.
Right, exactly. And if you go with that mindset, you don't become frustrated, you don't become anxious, and everything's all good.
Oh man. So I'm sure there's a lot of training and upkeep that comes with what you do, and obviously you're an educator, so I'm sure you do a lot to stay on top of your game. Can you share with us what you do to kind of stay sharp and stay focused?
Yeah, I mean, I continue the work that I do in sociology to keep up in that area of the field. But I also, I think I'm subscribing to about 6 different journals. Some of them are more like newsletters. I found that the training, academic nature and training is much different than it is in the real world. Right. And so I kind of weed my way through and which ones are really based on utilizing a lot of tried and true methods to come up with conclusions, and which ones are just hearsay and, well, this is just what so-and-so says and so-and-so says. Obviously, I read as many books as I can and figure out which people are again, working from the hip, or as opposed to working based on, based on rational methods. Other than that, a lot of exposure, a lot of experiences with as many different people as I can, as many different dogs as I can. I've worked with aggressive dogs. I've worked with very fearful dogs. I've worked with just your standard training, where the dog is, just has some basic issues. So it's more, I guess, more of the trying to help people that are having issues more so than anything else. So
Sure. Yeah. So you've been at it for quite some time now.
Yeah.
And if you had the opportunity, I love asking this question. So if you had an opportunity to kind of bundle up all of the learnings, all the challenges and everything you learned over the years, and say, Theresa, here you go. You can have it right when you started. What would you tell yourself so that you got off to a running start?
Wow. Oh my gosh. I mean, I would tell myself, first off, to relax and to remember that everyone learns differently. When I first started, I had to use a particular curriculum, and I wasn't able to deviate from that. And it wasn't until I started deviating on the sly anyway with it that I actually started getting successful. That first job that I had, when I started doing that, I actually increased sales at the store by 200% within a year. So I think that, and then I think also to not be afraid of jumping in with both feet. I'm still in the process of developing different parts of the training business at this point. I am not as technologically savvy as some people are. Like whenever we started doing this, I was like, whoa, this actually works. You've done something and it comes up. So I would say also to get more understanding, more knowledge on the technical aspects of presenting my information to other people. So
excellent. No, that's good advice. No, that's good. I mean, and it's consistent. Jumping in with 2 feet, I've heard it a million times. Most people just say, I don't know if I can do it or if I want to do it. And
right.
Sometimes that's just the best method. You can never be 100% prepared for anything. So, so that's good. So we're both a part of the Co-Opvertising Network. That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this interview. And, if you had an opportunity to kind of reach out to everyone that's in the group, and whether it's something that you can do or maybe it's some help that you need, what would that be?
Well, I would be more than happy to help out anybody who's having any types of issues. I mean, if your family system is having an issue because of dogs, there are solutions out there for that. So, and I can help to at least point you in the right direction. I'm also, I guess one of my downfalls with all of this is that I am too willing to give out information without being paid for it. So that's the other part is, trying to curtail myself that way. But the way I look at it is knowledge is supposed to be given out. Knowledge is not something that you should just hold on to unless if you get a particular dollar amount.
Right.
So that would be one thing that I'd be willing to do. Anybody that needs any type of help, because I know that whenever your dogs are causing issues, that it increases the stress in the household, and that has an effect not only on the family, the marital relationship. It has an effect on the relationship people have with their children and the way that kids look at each other, the way kids look at dogs, the way the kids look at animals. So, I mean, there's a broader picture here that's important. In terms of what I would like, I guess any advice on how to go forward, especially, with technology, how to go forward from there. So like I said, I have a Facebook page, I have a website, but it's really, really simplistic.
Sure.
And so just, going further with that would be, I guess, something I would love to have some information on. So.
Excellent. So if someone was trying to get a hold of you, what's the best way to reach you?
The best way is probably through email. So, but I do have a business phone. I have my own personal cell phone too, but email is probably the best way, just because you can answer emails even when there's distractions around. So
So what, do you want to give that out?
Sure. My email address is Theresa, Theresa, at dogtraining.com, DEOGETRAINING.com. So
excellent. So you want to give the phone number out too? Or?
Sure. The phone number is area code 630-203-7161.
Excellent. So if you're out there and you need some help with your puppies or whatever, make sure you call Theresa, because I'm sure she can help.
Yeah, or even just, even if they need just they heard somebody say something and they want to know whether or not it's true about food, about whatever. So
excellent. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time to share your passions with us. It's been really great getting to know you.
You too. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, everybody else have a great Memorial Day weekend, and we hope to see everybody online soon.
Right. Thank you. All righty.